And
You know what you might find offensive and exhilarating?
What?
My toilet tunnel.
Oh, that is a toilet. Oh my gosh, I need to see this.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taya and this is
Not my island.
We are doing a collab with the beautiful, the one and only Kayla Crossing. If you guys have not checked out Kayla Crossing's channel, so cute. Look at the vibes we have going on right surrounding our little toilet area. Like, just immaculate and so cute and fun and colorful. And when I heard that Kayla was also doing a toilet tunnel for Lionel on her island, I fell out of my seat and I messaged her immediately. And here we are. So it's time. Are you ready, Kayla? Are you prepared?
I'm born ready for this.
You were made for this moment. Look at you.
Yeah,
Look at this mustache.
This is the moment.
Kayla's doing mustache core. Mustache core. The tooth is cracking me up.
And Lionel has a mustache, so it's just perfect.
There you go.
A few moments later.
Now we are back on my home island of Funfetti, which is Chaos, Kawaii, Kid Core, and Sweets Core. And this build definitely falls into the chaotic portion of my island. And we can see Lionel's plot actually up in the top right. And this is where the toilet tunnel is going to be. I've set up those two toilets just to plan out the spacing. And it's going to run all the way up to this bridge, which leads into my Mary Poppins neighborhood. In preparation for this build, I went back and forth to OrderBots about 3 times to collect not only the toilets, but other miscellaneous decorations that I needed for the toilet tunnel. Lionel's house is over here on the peninsula. I will be decorating it eventually. But there's 2 beaches that are separated by the peninsula, and I'm planning on doing toilet-related builds, as well as over here there's this little chunk that's right behind the shopping district and right down from resident services, and the toilet tunnel will be to the right. But we are going to make that area into a dump, so there's going to be a dump next to the toilet tunnel. Ha ha ha. So I got started with this pathing. It's very kidcore, which will make it versatile for other parts of my island, but I also love that it's primary colors. It's that red, blue, and yellow, and I was hoping that there would be a proper like red, blue, and yellow automatic toilet, but they're actually pink, ivory, and a pale blue. But I think the contrast between this really ultra saturated road path or plank path and the desaturated toilets actually is really cute together. And I went through a couple of iterations with different kinds of pathing, not with this main stretch. I was really happy with that off the bat, but I tried putting these little stepping stones randomly around to add some extra detail. I am going to be making quite a lush, like kind of foresty look all around the toilet tunnel. And at this point, I didn't exactly know what that would look like. I wanted it to feel very like symmetrical as you're running down. I knew that I wanted like a fence around it or something like that so that it felt very official. But other than that, I wasn't really sure what I was doing with the pathing. So I'm just experimenting here with this extra little primary colored tile that I found. You'll see in a second that I actually tried to do the same thing at the front entrance kind of build. These little flowers do end up staying, and actually I think they influenced the build quite a bit. They're incredibly versatile little flowers. I will have all of the links, of course, the codes down in the description for you. At first I thought I wanted these little chunks of terraforming to like welcome you in. I end up getting rid of those because we go for kind of a castle entrance, which really worked. And I wanted to show you, of course, all of the toilets that I have in my inventory and the way that I picked them out so that I would keep it straight in my mind and I would keep the pattern. I'm going blue, pink, ivory, blue, pink, ivory. So once I had those all set up, it was the moment of truth. It was time to start placing these toilets. And once it started coming together, this is me living my best Animal Crossing life right now. So basically I have one single space to run down between the toilets so that they activate on both sides as I'm running through. Also, we're just going to take this time right now to say I am so excited to be doing this with Kayla, and at this point in the build, I was getting so excited to see what her toilet tunnel was going to look like as well, because Man, this is a satisfying build. I had to give it a couple test runs. You know I had to do it. And as you can see, I've left out that one blue toilet down a little bit further as an access to the dump. I end up getting rid of that because even though this island is going to be a one-way island, I think having the dump accessible from resident services or some other path to get to it is going to add the most impact, the most bang for your buck, the most toilet experience that you can experience. Look at this purity. It's pure joy, happiness, love. I'm just so grateful for it. And it does have a very like kidcore aesthetic, that's for sure, but this is definitely chaotic. And this is kind of this is my main thing that I wanted to do for my chaotic side of the island. I'm trying to move the terraforming around because I thought I could make it work and have these tall like entryway areas. Cookie is the first villager to use a toilet. I had to just wait for her to sit on this toilet. It was hilarious. She did not stay long, but I did capture it. And this was one iteration of the pathing that I did around Lionel's house. I wasn't sure how I was going to connect his house in with the build, and so I made this like patchwork kind of pathing. At the end of the day, it felt really, really busy, and I felt like I was doing more of a kid core than like this pure chaotic idea that I had from the beginning. I am going to give Lionel a little toilet cafe on this front beach, I think. And then I think the back beach, although you won't necessarily be able to go to it, like it'll be pretty secret and you can ignore it if you want to, but I'm going to make like a little hand washing beach as well, which I think is funny. And also sanitary. You've just ran past a bunch of toilets. You should probably wash your hands. I love medieval building sides, okay? They are so good. With these plain party light arches, I couldn't exactly figure out the perfect spacing that I wanted until I decided that I was gonna add a second plain party lights arch, and that made all the difference. I just put a little touch of this grass path, which is like my favorite thing ever. It works with kidcore, it works with kawaii, and now I've got it in a chaotic build. It's like, this build is the culmination of almost every theme. The only thing that's missing is like sweets, but if I make a toilet cafe in the front, then it's got the sweets covered too, I guess. This is the end of the sweets. This is what happens. You run through a toilet tunnel and that's how you relieve yourself on this island. Oh gosh, what am I saying? You know, we needed a decorative pillar.
You complete me, decorative pillar. You are blue.
Bluty?
You are beauty and you are grace. Toilet tunnel, you're the next level. I could run through you for the rest of my days.
So now it was time to tackle this little front entryway. And because we are just to the right-hand side of my entrance, which is kawaii core, I thought it would be cute to make the entrance feel very cutesy. I originally started with this kind of like pink tile that I used a lot in the front entranceway, and then I tested out the terracotta path, and I actually think the terracotta path looks so cute and summery. I had to take down the medieval building sides temporarily to put this path underneath it, but I'm really happy with how the terracotta looks. Just plain, just straight up in-game pathing. Who would have thought? Another fun thing that was happening like a lot when I was doing this build was thinking villagers. Everybody was thinking. There were so many thoughts to be had on Funfetti on this day. Willow was just all over here, slow walking all over the place. But they were not asking to move out because I did end up talking to Muffy because she is the one villager that I'm still looking to kick out of this island. Even though I love her, she doesn't really fit the aesthetic. Anyways, Stinky was the second one to sit on a toilet. I even caught the flush. I'm sorry. Anyways, I talked to Muffy and she was just asking if she could come over to my house. So All of them were just thinking, doing their things, running up to me. It was really cute. And even walking through the toilet tunnel, as you will see, a couple of them did experiment with walking down it. But I will say that it's not very satisfying to watch a villager run through the toilet tunnel because they do not run through the toilet tunnel. They just like awkwardly walk back and forth a couple of steps. So they trigger the toilets in a really not satisfying way when they walk through most of the time. However, speaking of Muffy, I did catch her at one point going through it, and she did a pretty good strut for like a little bit. So I caught that on film. I really love how this entrance came together to the toilet tunnel. It's just really simple. I didn't want to make too much of it, but I like the little bench and the little candles with these chafaleras. And we went for confetti machines at the beginning and bubble machines at the end, which I think is really cute. Maybe this is how you sanitize yourself. Maybe they're sanitary. See, look, Sasha's thinking now. What the heck? At first, I thought I wanted floor lights, but honestly, the lag already started with this area, and I was like, no. So I kept it very natural. I tried not to use that many, like, illuminated items. I'm not sure whether floor lights specifically give you more lag than other kinds of lighting, but I decided not to do the floor lights. And as you saw a little earlier, I was testing out some different kinds of fencing. These toilets are on a half square, so there's a little half square of space available behind them. And since 2.0, we got so many half tile alternate fencing options. It's amazing. So I had some of the wooden fences. I had some of those little rope partitions. And I went with the rope partitions because they look so good in the white. And at this point, I made an order on an order bot and I was just waiting to go. So I was just doing very minimal things with incredibly empty pockets so that I would be able to go the second that my order was ready. It's starting to come together though. I planted a bunch of peach trees and shrubs, and then I collected some flowers as well to put around. Pink, white, I think I did some red, and some of the white pansies that have that very blue middle, but I'm planting pink and white bushes everywhere as well. So that's kind of the aesthetic. It's very pink and white and blue to go with the toilets, but also to go with like kind of the primary colors. And here's a little Lichen cameo. He came in bringing me a smoothie and I showed him the tunnel.
It's an interesting medley. You might find it both offensive yet exhilarating.
I'm scared.
And
You know
really?
what you might find offensive and exhilarating?
What?
My toilet tunnel.
Oh, that is a toilet. Oh my gosh, I need to see this.
Okay.
That is so cool.
Running back down through it is actually the most satisfying because you see them close like a wave behind you. Oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
What did you put in there?
Oh, you don't like it?
Oh.
Most of what I did around the exterior of the toilet tunnel is just natural. A lot of shrubs and flowers and like trees and that kind of thing. I did plant mostly fruit trees around this area because I thought it was very cute, added to the colorfulness of it. Let me just tell it to you straight though. I added peaches because peaches look like little butts. Also, it was a bit difficult because this area is so close to the beach on the one side. Even though I wanted to make it fully symmetrical, there was places where I couldn't add trees, so I had to switch bushes with trees, and I just had to make a few adjustments that I wouldn't have normally made. And it was time. My order was ready, and we flew over to lovely Berry Chan's island. I did make a full video on how to use order bots, so go and check that out if you're interested. They are not nearly as intimidating or as difficult to figure out as they seem. So I had my row partitions, and I also got some toilet paper. That was the other thing that I got. And you can see the toilet tunnel in the flyover, and it looks epic. It's so long. I love it. And you'll get to see that dump area, which is that stone pathing. And then here is what the front entrance looks like as you fly over it as well. I think I'd like to get some detail pathing in that front entrance, but that's for another time. I placed down this toilet paper to on top of the decorative pillar and on top of the castle wall. You can't really see, sorry, the castle tower, but you can't really see it on top of the castle tower until you run through, but I think that's funny too. I could put some gyroids up there as well. Maybe there's one that kind of has like a toot noise. Just let me know. If you know of a gyroid that has like a tooty kind of a noise, that would be really funny to just kind of like include. I don't know why I'm just thinking of that now. Oh my gosh, that would be so funny. And here are my rope partitions. This added like so much detail. And just like, and oh my goodness, I love the rope partitions so much. And then I'm just going back in with some decorations. We're finally starting to like actually decorate and add some interest into the surrounding areas of the toilet tunnel. These curved street lamps and the cinema roll parasol or whatever it's called look really cute together. However, in running down it in a test, I realized that I really love the way that the curved street lamps show the distance of it. You can see them going around the curve of like the Animal Crossing world, and you can see like if they're all lined up, it looks really cute. So I ended up removing the parasols and putting those, I do put them back, but in a different area so that the curved street lamps are all down the sides, and it kind of looks like this toilet promenade almost, like this epic, really regal feeling tunnel. I'm obsessed with it. I love how much nature I put all around it. Here's Lionel. I did not notice that he was sitting on the toilet. Look at him. I'll freeze frame it. He was sitting on it. He used it, and it was glorious. And then I talked to him. What's the good word? Is it precisely? Now, this is a great idea. You can just take a load off any old time with a tankless toilet. I died. I wonder what kind of soul left it out for us. Whoever it was, my legs thank you. Like, what? He literally commented on the toilet and said, thank you. He literally thanked me for giving him toilets. I also put some little fragrance diffusers. Also, like, maybe that's an added benefit of there just being like a ton of flowers and like nature and fruit trees all around this toilet tunnel. It will mask the scent. And it was actually at this point that I flew over to Kayla's island to do the intro. And I flew back and I got a little preview of what the toilet tunnel was looking like in the flyover, and I was losing it.
Oh my gosh, the toilet tunnel looks so good in the flyover. Oh my gosh!
And since I didn't want to do entirely just peach trees, I thought the apple trees also are kind of cute for this area, especially to bring in some more of those reds from the primary colors that are in the flooring. And I was itching to see what all of this shrubbery looked like grown in, so we did head over to the next day. And it was raining, unfortunately, but we did get a pretty satisfying run through of the toilet tunnel. You can see with all of these, I think it was a day 2 tree. I wasn't sure if I wanted to stunt some of the trees, which is why I went ahead only 2 days. I also think that it's a little bit easier to work with planning out plants and shrubbery when you only do 2 days, because you can still pick up a 2-day tree. So if you do want to move them at that point, it's a little less tedious to move them. You don't have to eat, and you can kind of see over and around them a little bit better, so you're not working completely blind. I find it really difficult to like plan out trees and everything when they're already full grown. We had a campsite villager. It was Little Miss Diva, who honestly is kind of growing on me. She's kind of a vibe. And I looked at my villager list briefly to be like, would Diva fit? And unfortunately, she would not. She's just too dark colored, I think. And also, we already have Jambette. Like, can we really give her that level of competition? I think that would just be rude. Like, Diva's pretty awesome, but also she kind of matches more with Muffy's aesthetic than she does with the island's aesthetic in general. And Muffy's the only villager that I'm looking to get rid of at this point. So I grabbed some yellow flowers. I also grabbed a bag of these wind flowers that are red. And I'm just going in basically and filling in all of the little areas that look like they could use something, you know? I'm putting some pathing in underneath these cherry blossom branches because they take up 1.5 spaces. And look at Miss Muffy. Here is her moment. She's going through the tunnel and she actually did a pretty good walk down this way. Look at her go. Look at her go. They open them so slowly that it's not really super satisfying, as I was saying, but that was the best shot that I ever got of a villager so far. Of course, if I see them doing it again, I will set up my camera as quickly as possible and catch it, but that was the only one that I really caught that she was actually doing it. Sid was in there for a little bit on this day, but I was almost ready to time travel and he was just staying there. He was just sitting. It was like kind of annoying because he was blocking it all off. I had to frequently use my camera app to do that angled shot so that I could see if I was making things symmetrical. But this is basically just like filling in with all kinds of nature along the side. I really love the lush feeling that you get from this. I honestly think that this might be one of my favorite things that I've ever made in Animal Crossing. It checks all the boxes for me. Like, even though it's really silly, and I don't know if you could, I definitely don't think you could put this on just any old island, but I think if you had an island where you were just doing your own thing, like if it was normcore or kidcore or even like kawaii, honestly, I think that this is so cute and silly and just like lighthearted. It's everything to me. It's just the second that I saw this idea from this Reddit user a while back, I was obsessed with the idea. I knew I had to have one on my island, and I'm really glad that I finally do. And with the planting of some coconut trees, it's finally time, everyone, for the final run through of my toilet tunnel. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed this silly little build as much as I did, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, everybody!